This is not a very rosy piece of advice. I started my study in unemployment because I was very much shaped by the Great Recession. And then this was a huge pivotal moment of our life. Just last year, we've seen like all this news of, layoffs that are happening in companies that we thought were sort of safe, right? Like the tech sector, which had always been making so many profits. Salaries and perks were incredible. We've seen something like Google laying people off, which really seems unprecedented, right, for that sector. I think for me, the advice I would give is if you're working in the private sector, you don't expect a job for life. And I don't know that anyone is naive enough to necessarily expect that, but expect that you also may be made redundant or have some sort of reorganization or downsizing that you're a part of, just because this is how organizations work.
I would probably focus on three things. One is try to do what energizes you and to just use that as a clue as to where you should take your career. Everything you do is either going to energize or deplete you. And those things that energize you, those things that you find meaningful, that is a promising path to take, even though you may not know exactly where it's going to lead you. Second thing to think about was to not worry as much about what other people think. I get that it is hard not to completely divorce yourself from where you perceive where you are and what you've achieved in life from what others have achieved by the same point in time in their lives. But the reality is that most people they're not really thinking about you that much. They're not thinking about your career as much as you're thinking about your career. And you're the one who's got to look yourself in the mirror every single day. So I would try to step back from others' judgments to the extent that you can. And then the other one to keep in mind is just to balance aspiration with practicality. So I'm a big proponent of people following their dreams and doing what they love to do. At the same time, there is something to be said for CV building or resume building. There are moves you can make that are going to be more productive, and there's decisions that you make that will tend to open doors and others that tend to close them.
It is what I would describe as the diamond principle of career management. Diamond has that shape where it is broadening and then it is focusing. That's, going from the bottom part to the middle part and then focusing on the top part. That's how a diamond looks like. How a career strategy should be structured. And what do I mean by that? At the beginning, you should ensure that you broaden up your experience base. I shared my own experience where I knew that I needed to have the country HR experience. It was about broadening. But then comes a turning point, and that's when you then need to completely focus, because then you need to build on the experience base that you have established and be very, very targeted in ensuring that you can achieve your career target. It is all about achieving the career target, but there are two different, so to say, phases, the broadening and then the complete focusing. And why is it important? For two reasons. I mean, first of all, indeed, the choices of jobs that you will make are different. But secondly, the communication that you will have with senior management, with HR, with recruiters, and so on and so forth, is completely different. And you need to have the right messages at the right stage of your career in order to be efficient.